So do you know what borders are? Yeah, those things that divide countries. While most of them are normal, a lot are not, and that is what this video is about. Weird borders. Cut to the intro. First off, with weird borders or islands, there is a lot of weird borders with islands like Fafard Island. This island is only 6 kilometers or 4 miles away from the closest town, which is in Ontario, but it is owned by the territory of Nunavut. When Nunavut's mainland is 700 miles or 1,000 kilometers away, but all of the islands in this gulf are owned by Nunavut, even though being nowhere close. So I am gonna do research. So basically no one claimed them, so the Northwest Territories got them, and then Nunavut. But that is not the only island border that is weird. Another weird island border is Morkuta Island in the Baltic Sea. That the borders look like this. So basically before 1985 the border was just a straight line, but Finland make a lighthouse on the Swedish side, so they agreed to give Finland this and Sweden this, so it would be equal. Weird, right? But let's look at panhandles. If you don't know what a panhandle is, it is basically a piece of a country or state that is stick out in another country or state, like Namibia's panhandle, which extends 450 kilometers or 280 miles to almost border Zimbabwe. The story goes like this: the Germans who colonized Namibia at the time forgot Victoria Falls existed. That is literally what Google is telling me. But in Africa, weird borders are a common sense of, well, kingdoms, wars, colonialism, independence, and all of that. So yeah, but also in Africa is Gambia, which is a river nation inside of Senegal. It is because before both's independence, Gambia was a British colony and Senegal was a French colony. So yeah, when they got independence, they both just stayed the same. Another kind of weird border is enclaves and exclaves. So basically enclaves are pieces of a country completely surrounded by another country, and exclaves are pieces of country that's surrounded by multiple different countries. And semi-exclaves and enclaves are pieces of territory surrounded by another country but border the sea. So yeah, let's look at those. The African country of Lesotho is completely surrounded by South Africa. What is weird is both were British colonies, and at one point when South Africa was an independent state, Lesotho was still a British colony. Is weird, and then their independence. And another example is the UAE and Oman, which is a weird. So here is the town of Naha, which is part of the UAE, and here is a piece of Oman surrounding the UAE enclave. And what is weirder is that Omani land is surrounded by the UAE and others. So basically you can be in Oman, walk into the UAE, and then walk back in Oman, then walk in the UAE, and walk back in Oman, then walk back in the UAE, then finally go back in Oman, which is the weirdest stuff ever, but not weirder than the Belgium Netherlands town and the India-Bangladesh border. So basically the Dutch town of Barrel-Nassau and the Belgian town of Barrel-Hertog both have many enclaves and exclaves, but there is no worry since both are in the EU. You travel through both without needing your passport, but not for India and Bangladesh. Most of this issue has been resolved, but before 2015 the border looked like this. But this is not the EU, where you could freely travel through the country. You need a passport to do it here, which made it hard for people to live here. But by 2015 the border was fixed. Remember, kids, don't be stupid and make enclaves and exclave borders anyways. Bye.